Who dat to the Who Dat Nation. Welcome to the Who Dat Say podcast, your podcast for the New Orleans Saints here on the KB Radio Network. Ladies and gentlemen, football is back. And more importantly, here in the Who Dat Nation, Saints football is back. Preseason, SME season, I don't care. It was good to see the black and gold back in the dome, on the field, playing football. Oh my God, it feels like it's been 2 years, man. The wait has been long, but it's only been 6 months, but it's felt longer. The Saints in their preseason debut, week 1, took on the Jacksonville Jaguars in a losing effort, losing 24-20, but it's preseason. Wins and losses, don't care. They could care less. If you put value into the preseason, look, brother, sister, you really need to sit back and take a breath. Take a breath and relax. It's not that serious. It's preseason. We really go into preseason evaluating talent and hoping and praying that everybody comes out healthy. That's the only 2 elements that you are going into a preseason with. And so far, health-wise, not too good, and that's before we even got to this game on Saturday. We had our number 1 pick, Jordan Tyson, go down Thursday, I think it was, at the joint practice with a hamstring and could miss significant time due to that injury. So let's hope and pray that it's not as severe as a lot of people are thinking it is. We know that Jordan Tyson had a history of hamstring problems and issues in college, but according to Kellen Moore, this isn't the same one. It's the other leg. And I don't know if that's supposed to make me feel better or what, but it's either way, it sucks. I didn't want to see him get hurt because he was looking good in camp, looking really, really good in camp, and he went down. Cam Jordan is dealing with an injury. He's going to have to sit the entire preseason and possibly miss the first week or so with that injury. I bring these up because as I doom scroll on social media and looking at fellow Who Dats in the Who Dat Nation, and I see doom, bro. I mean, it's so much doom and gloom, and I get it. I'm born and raised here. I've been a Saints fan my whole life. I know how Saints fans are. I get it, and we really need to move past all that doom. Every little thing is the end of the world. Now, all of a sudden, it isn't everybody. It isn't everybody. Let me just put that out there. But it is a good number of people. Oh, that was a wasted pick. Oh, man, he's hurt. He's this. He's that. They're talking about Jordan Tyson here. But you weren't saying that a week ago. You didn't have that energy a week ago. But now, all of a sudden, it's the end of the world. Relax. People get hurt. It's okay. That was my big thing last year, even going into this year with Tyler Shuck. Tyler Shuck had the same thing. He had 3 major shoulder surgeries in college. That's why I was concerned about that pick. But so far, so good in the NFL. Knock on wood that he continues to stay healthy. It happens. The thing with Cam Jordan, people complaining about that. And this is real. This is a legit complaints I read. Oh, he didn't work out in the off season. Oh, he's getting old. He's getting this. The man is coming off of a 10-sack season. At his age, now all of a sudden he's too old. Now all of a sudden he's injury prone. You realize this is the first time in how long Cam has been in the league? This is his first injury. The man's an Iron Man. He don't miss games. He only missed 1 game his entire career, and that was because of COVID. And that turned out to be a false negative. So he is a bona fide Iron Man. He was due to be injured. He was due to get banged up at some point in his life or career. And come on, bro. People need to relax. Relax. It's August. It's August. We haven't gotten to the regular season yet. Let's save our complaints until then. Let's save it till then when we probably going to end up having many things to complain about when we get to the regular season. But right now, let's just study this team. Let's look at what goes on during the week at training camp. Let's look and evaluate what's going on during these preseason games. Let's look at our depth. Let's look at certain positions that you are keyed on and evaluate who we need. And do we have what we need? Whether it's the second, third, or fourth string, do we have that guy? And that's the point of this period here. Not to complain, oh, the season's over. Come on. Come on. Relax. First week of preseason. Relax. Same thing with this game. We lost. Relax. It's preseason. Might I remind you, the year the Detroit Lions went 0-16. 0-16. They were undefeated in preseason. They went 4-0 in that preseason. And it looked like they turned the corner until the regular season kicked off and didn't win a game. That's why I don't put value in wins and losses when it comes to preseason. Who cares? Who cares? It's all about position battles. Who wins and loses there. And I think today, despite the fact we came away with an L, we had some victories, some small victories in battles that are taking place in certain positions on this team. And I'm super excited about it. And we're going to discuss it not for long. I mean, there's not much to talk about in preseason game. We didn't have any starters play. You know, we didn't see Shuck. We didn't see Eachin. We didn't see Kamara. We didn't see our defense on the field. We didn't see Chase Young or Cam or Caton Ellis, you know, all these guys. We didn't see our starters. And so this was truly, clearly an evaluation game. Now, they played in the little joint practice on Thursday, and according to reports, Saints looked good. Tyler Shuck looked good, even though he was struggling throughout camp so far from what everybody is saying. Spencer Rattler is outperforming him in camp and whatnot. He managed to bounce back in the joint practice. That's what I want to hear. We got to see Spencer Rattler today. He was Spencer Rattler. You know, it was nothing to write home and tell mom about. I didn't see any progression in his game. You know, he's still the same conservative Spence. So you know, he is who he is. I ain't mad at it. He is a quality backup right now. So until he get his head out of his behind, he is a quality backup. My standouts today in today's game for the New Orleans Saints, I would have to give it to Bud Means, to Trey Palmer, to Michael Hellman, even Zach Wilson, to a degree. I think they came to shine. They outperformed everybody else on this team today. Really impressed, but truly impressed with Bud Means and Trey Palmer, and that's what's gonna that's the position on offense that I am so curious about. You know, defensively, I told myself that I'm going into this preseason, this training camp, I was gonna focus my attention on the defense. I wanted to see the defense take that next step. But as we get deeper into camp, and with the injury to Jordan Tyson and with this depth, just a large amount of depth that the New Orleans Saints have in the wide receiver room, it's going to be some tough cuts at the end. That's all I'm going to say to that. The game started off with a bang with that 86-yard or 89-yard opening kickoff return, and setting the Saints up at the 9-yard line. ETN ran it in for the 9-yard touchdown run. I thought that was a real good showing because our special teams last season was trash, bro. It was trash. And that was a real nice. And today, they look good. There's still room for improvement, but they look better than they did last season. But once again, it was against twos and the threes and whatnot. So I'm taking it with a grain of salt. But you know who wasn't? You know who wasn't a 2 or a 3? These kickers. Why can't the Saints get a reliable kicker? This is you still have Charlie Smith, who I like as a person. I like him, but my God, he can't kick. And his so-called not replacement but challenger, Tanner Brown, he ain't no better. You know, those kicks don't look too clean coming off his foot. And so it's like, I don't know what are we gonna do when it comes to this field goal thing, because the Saints are the type of team, which they showed last year. They lost a lot of games on one possession, you know, and a field goal goes a long way. And when you don't have a reliable kicker, that puts a lot of pressure on your quarterback. That puts a lot of pressure on your offense to score every time, you know, that you gotta score. Now, don't get me wrong, your goal is to score every possession, but, you know, sometimes you don't have to go so hard in the paint. Sometimes you just have to get enough yardage just to kick a field goal. You know, that takes a lot of pressure off an offense. But not here, you know, because you don't have no faith on your kicker. So it is what it is there. Another standout today was Oscar Depp, our rookie tight end. I thought he looked pretty decent. I will say, when it comes to these receivers today, what impressed me the most was their catching ability, catching with their hands. I didn't see too many balls go to their body. It was a lot of hands, you know. Strong hands are very, very important. You need to be able to wrestle the ball away. I saw some tough contested catches by a Trey Palmer, by a Bud Beans that normally would have hit the ground last year. But this year, it looks like, man, they really are committed to catching that ball away from their body. And I'm so impressed by that. I was so impressed by that today. Good on them. That's very encouraging. The stats for today's game. The New Orleans Saints, once again, they lost by the score of 24-20. They were in control of this game until the fourth quarter. Well, actually, I would say the second half. It was the tale of two halves when it came to this preseason game. Saints didn't score a point in the second half of this game, but you know, it is what it is. The team leaders, the Jacksonville, their leading passer today was Carter Bradley. He was 10 for 17, 105 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 intercept. Over there for the New Orleans Saints, you have Zach Wilson. He was 11 for 16, 145 yards, and a touchdown. Leading rushers for both teams, Amari Taylor for the Jacksonville Jaguars, 22 carries, 78 yards, and a touchdown. Leading rusher for the New Orleans Saints was Etienne with 5 carries for 28 yards and a touchdown. Leading receiver for the Jacksonville Jaguars was Trebra Pinna. He had 3 catches for 58 yards. For the Saints, it was Bud Means, 4 catches for 77 yards after being targeted 5 times. And that's another good number. Actually, let's run down that. Let's run down our wide receivers with their targets and catches. As I said, Bud Means was targeted 5 times. He caught it 4. Braylon Brown, he was targeted 4 times. He caught it 4 times. Jalen Chopper, he was targeted 6 times, caught it 3. Trey Palmer was targeted 6 times. He caught it 4 times. Kevin Austin Jr. was targeted 4 times. He caught it 3 of those times. And Oscar Depp, 5 targets, 3 catches. I know I've been talking a lot about the offense, but I can't shy away from the defense. I actually enjoyed how the defense played in that. Well, I was praying too, but played in that first half. The first half defense looked great, and this is with no starters. Jalen Ford, I've been waiting on him to emerge. And it looks like he's fitting in like a glove now. He knows the system now. He was all over the field. He even got an interception today. He looked phenomenal. Jaden Price, he had an interception today as well. Michael Hellman, who I did not hear his name uttered in Saints camp until today. He had 2 sacks today, and he looked like an animal coming off that edge, as well as Garrett Nelson, who had a sack today. They were all over the place, man. Fadil Diggs had a sack today, and they actually looked ferocious out there. I was like, man, if this is what our second, third, maybe even fourth string look, man, I can't wait to see the starters in there. Hopefully the starters live up to the bar that's been set by our bench players here, but we'll see going forward. Next week, the Saints will take on the Los Angeles Rams. They travel to LA to take on the Rams next week, August the 22nd. It's going to be basically a carbon copy of this week. They're going to hold a joint practice Thursday or Friday, and Saturday is going to pretty much be the same lineups. So don't expect to see our starters out there. I don't want to see my starters. Do not want to see a starter on the field until September, until week 1. There's no need. There's no point. They're the starters. There's nothing to prove. Now, if you want to stick them in there against the Cowboys in our final preseason game for one series, just to, work the kinks out, cool. One series. That's it. That's it. I don't need to see a full half. Oh, we can't sit until we score type. I could care less. Just stay healthy at this point. Stay healthy. We've already lost too much as it is. We can't afford to start another season, in the red when it comes to players, with injuries. We've been doing that for the past 3-4 years. We lose major pieces before the season even start, and it's getting old. And you wonder why we are in the position we in, but with other things added on, of course. But that's a major piece when you don't have people that you rely on. Yeah, I get the next man up mentality. Of course, theoretically, yeah, we shouldn't miss a beat. But well as I know, with Michael Hellman, Michael Hellman is good, but is he better than Chase Young? Is he better than Cam Jordan? Seriously doubt it. Seriously doubt it. I could be wrong, but I doubt it. But with that being said, I was impressed by a few players today. Hopefully we continue to stay healthy. I didn't see any injuries in today's game on the Saints side, so that's a plus. Knock on wood. I didn't see any. I'm pretty sure they sore, hurting, probably sprung an ankle or something like that, but nothing major. Didn't see anything major, and thank God for that. But what did you think? Who impressed you today in the Saints' first preseason game? Was it somebody on offense, somebody on defense? Was it the special teams? They look improved? The coaching, does that look improved? I do see some improvement on coaching as well. It ain't Sean Payton level of improvement, but who could do that other than Sean Payton? But I mean, it looked. Kellen Moore looks comfortable on that sideline. He doesn't look pent up. Now, he wasn't calling the plays today. Nussmeier was calling the plays, but he still looked a little more comfortable than last year. He was a little more vocal on the sideline. You remember last year, he was like, he was like a church mouse, you know. He was like a usher standing at the door. He didn't utter a word. You're like he was scared to say something, you know, scared to react. It was torture for me because I'm looking at him like, come on, man, give me some type of emotion. I saw emotion today, so I'm happy to see that. It is the preseason, you know. It doesn't count, doesn't matter, doesn't help you in your playoff run. It was a preseason. It was a glorified practice, and he was engaged in the game. So that gives me a little more encouragement. I'm happy, man. I am just happy that the Saints are back, that football is back. It has been depressing for these last 6 months. You know, sports has been it's bad. It is so bad. I think I mentioned this on a previous show. You know it's bad when you're cheering for the Knicks to win the NBA championship. I hate the Knicks, but I was craving sports so bad. I got into that and was excited for the Knicks. And as soon as they won, I got mad. And so I needed, all I could think about was, man, football needs to come back fast. And I thank God that it's here. But I want to know your thoughts on this Saints team and how it's structured and all of these players. It's going to be, I'm telling you, it's going to be some tough cuts today. It's going to be some tough cuts to, well, not today, but this preseason. At least at the end of it. Man, it's going to stink. But it stinks every year when they do that. We see a player leave, then sign somewhere else, and then they shine, and you're like, man, they were here. Oh, but I hate that. But anyways, everybody, subscribe to the KBRadioNetwork.com website where you can be notified when we drop an episode here on the website, and you can listen to previous episodes from the podcast. Don't forget about YouTube. Subscribe to the KB Radio Network channel and like this video if you don't mind. Don't forget about the 5 stars, the reviews, and sharing this show if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, wherever you are currently listening to the Who That Say podcast here on the KB Radio Network. Everybody, thank you for joining me for this recap of the New Orleans Saints' first preseason game of the new year, their 60th season. Oh, man, football is back, and I'm so happy that I get to scream, "Who that?"